Pace Studio on the road. We are live at the Moon River Festival in Chattanooga, Tennessee right now with BJ Barm of American Aquarium. BJ, thanks for doing this, man.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So thanks for coming, literally stepping off the main stage and walking into our stage here. And man, we're about to hear 3 songs from Lamentation. What is the first one?
The first song I'm going to play for you guys is a song called The Long Haul. It's the closing track of the record. It's one of the optimistic, one of the only optimistic, hopeful songs on the record. If the title of the record didn't give it away enough, Lamentations is a record about the things that test us as human beings, the things that nearly break us as human beings. And when I wrote the record, I realized that if I didn't have something hopeful on there, it was going to be very much a downer record. So I wanted people's last experience with the record to be something that kind of left them on a positive note. And so as dark as some of the subjects that this song touches is some of my darker moments, but it also is a optimistic look at tomorrow being another day. So this is a tune called The Long Haul.
They say you ain't been the same since you laid that bottle down. The songs ain't got no soul, the band's done lost its sound. Get your head out of the clouds, boy. Pretty soon you'll realize that sometimes the kindest thing you can do for a dream is let it die. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm here until the work's done. I ain't ever been the kind of guy that's gonna cut and run. So I'll pick myself up every time I fall. Buddy, I'm in it for the long haul. They say the hardest part of getting sober is learning a drinking buddy ain't the same thing as a friend. Just like the hardest part of starting over is admitting to yourself that something's come to an end. But I'm in it for the long haul. I'm here until the work's done. I ain't ever been the kind of guy that's gonna cut and run. So I'll pick myself up every time I fall. Baby, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm as solid as a redwood when she's standing by my side. She's got the patience of a sunset. Her last nerve's a mile wide. So last Sunday after supper, I asked her why she stays. She said, I ain't gonna be just another song about walking away, 'cause I'm in it for the long haul. I'm here until the work's done. I ain't ever been the kind of gal that's gonna cut and run. So we'll pick ourselves up every time we fall. Honey, I'm in it for the long haul. Yes, I'm in it for the long haul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Man, I like that. I like that song a lot. Thank you for sharing it with us. And so I know, I mean, I'm not blowing your anonymity by telling people that you're drinking and drugging for years and years and years. I mean, the songs, like you were saying, are fairly transparent.
Yeah.
And so taking all the drugs and doing all the drinking and touring as well is a massive part of your life for a long time. You played like 4,000 shows in your life or something like that. So having so much of your energy in the past, having gone to live shows and having gone to drinking and drugging, now that those things are not fully on the table, I mean, shows are coming back, but hopefully the drinking and drugs don't come back.
Yeah.
Where does that energy go for you these days? And that's a massive amount of...
Yeah, I just celebrated August 31st was my 7th year in recovery. So I got 7 years under my belt in recovery. And the shows are still there. You know, I still get to focus 100% of the energy towards the show now. It used to be like 50% toward getting as messed up as I humanly could, and then 50% toward playing a show that was acceptable. So now it's 100% goes into the shows, and I don't think it's a coincidence that our career took off when I got sober. I don't think it's a coincidence that the shows started getting better and fans stopped being like, it used to be just a crapshoot. It used to be, we go to see this band because it could be the greatest thing you've ever seen, or it could be a train wreck, and both of them were like expected.
Yeah.
So I think that's why a lot of people were coming to see us early on, and now they know they're going to get the very best of what I got to give them. And that's a good thing. The energy, to answer the energy question, since I got sober, I got married, I have a kid, I have a 3-year-old daughter at home. That's where my energy goes.
Yeah. It's
a much more positive energy these days than pre-2014. Pre-2014, I was damaged goods. That song touches on, surprised that, my wife stayed with me. I hit rock bottom in 2014, and luckily she stuck by my side, and now we've got a beautiful family, and I feel pretty good about my decision. And so a lot of people are like, are you worried about, falling off the wagon? I've got too much to lose.
Right.
I've got too much to lose falling off the wagon. So there's no like, I can have a beer here or there, or I can do this. I'll stick with, sparkly bubble water and keep going with what I'm going. Because like I said, since we took that turn in 2014, the output of our band has been pretty ridiculous. We've put out, I think, 6 or 7 records since 2014. And I don't think that's, a coincidence. I think it's because I'm 100% focused to my career instead of just partially focused to my career.
Right. Well, congratulations, man. Welcome back to
Thank you so much.
The world and to reality, because that's, not everybody figures that out.
Yeah, it's nice to travel to a place and remember my time there, or, wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning like a normal human being and go to get a bite to eat at a nice restaurant, or go see a museum, or go to a park, instead of just waking up at 3 o'clock and then getting ushered to sound check.
Yep.
It's nice to kind of fully live life.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of cool stuff out there, and you miss it if you're not in the right shape to receive it.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. I'm very much enjoying what we're doing here today, and there is a lot more of your music to be shared. What are you going to do second from Lamentation today?
I'm going to do a song called 6 Years Come September. This is a very, very, very dark look at why people get sober. I got sober for a positive change. This is a much darker look at why people get sober. Because I feel like a lot of sobriety songs are, unicorns and rainbows. Like, I got sober and everything got better. I wanted to kind of take a much darker take. So this is like a fictional narrative mixed with personal experience, but I think it's just as effective of a song as the positive outlook that so many people write about sobriety.
I got a picture of you holding a picture of her taped to the dash of my car. I see it every time I check my speed or run up to the grocery store. The two of you were the only thing in life worth fighting for. But since you've been gone, I ain't been much for fighting anymore. These days, things don't come easy. It's all I can do most just to keep it between the lines. If I'd have done a better job of listening, maybe you would still be mine. I ain't had a drop to drink since the day that you left me. 6 years come September, I've been cursed with this clarity. I just stare in the mirror, yelling at a stranger looking back at me. And the ghost of the man I could have been still haunts all my dreams. These days, things don't come easy. It's all I can do most just to keep it between the lines. If I'd have done a better job of listening, maybe you would still be mine. Foolish pride wouldn't let me give you the keys to the Oldsmobile. No way in hell I should have let myself ever get behind that wheel. I was drunk, it was dark, and I didn't see him coming over that hill. I regretted it then, I regret it now, and I guess I always will. These days, things don't come easy. It's all I can do most just to keep it between the lines. If I'd have done a better job of listening, the two of you would still be mine. I got a picture of you holding a picture of her taped to the dash of my car.
Thanks, guys.
Nice. Thank you, BJ.
Thank y'all.
So as if you didn't have enough on your plate between sobriety, I would imagine there's meetings involved, and then family, and then working, touring, etc. You decided that you would start a record label, which you did.
Yeah.
So what have you learned through starting it, through Losing Side? What has that experience been like for you?
Well, we're a band that has always put out our own records. We put out 2 records with New West, but they were kind of like glorified licensing deals. For the most part, I've put out 14 records in the last 15 years, and we did all those independently, pretty much, minus the 2 New West records. So I've always known how to do it. I just didn't know I needed a corporate shell to put it all under. I just was doing all the work of an independent label without giving it a title. So during the pandemic, I jumped through all the hoops to finally give it a title and finally get that catalog back under one umbrella. And I'm pretty proud of it. There's not many bands 15 years in that can say they own 100% of their music. And I feel very proud of that. Cool. And so Losing Side is not just something for me. It's something I can pass down to my kid. It's something that, when I'm long gone, she'll be able to live off of the work that I've done for the last, going on 20 years now. So
nice.
That's exciting.
Do you see it is it primarily a vehicle to release American Aquarium stuff, or do you see it develop? Do you sign other artists to that label, or is it just for you guys?
Eventually. As of now, it is definitely a vehicle for us. It's when you're your own boss, nobody can tell you how many records you can and cannot deliver. So I think Losing Side, I started it in December of 2020. We've already released 4 records. So I don't really I don't have to answer to anybody. There's no that's too much stuff. I'm like, no, we can put out whatever we want to put out.
Yeah, it's the right amount of stuff.
Yeah, it's the right amount of stuff. Yeah. It's like however much I feel. So it feels really great. The ultimate goal is to eventually be able to put out records I believe in just as much as I believe in my own music. And so there's plenty of, I think every band that's toured as long as we have has those stories of, man, if I had a record label, I could have signed this artist before they got huge, or this artist before they got huge. And so it's about realizing the eye for talent and then being able to sign those bands and give them kind of a lot more amplification on their first record than they might get if they self-released it. So we give ourselves a 5-year, hopefully in 5 years we'll be putting out other bands' records, including our own records.
Do you have your eye on any particular artist right now, or would you prefer, you don't have to say that publicly if you don't want, if you want to keep that close to the vest, but
I've got a lot of talented friends. I got a lot of talented friends who are now becoming not so obscure over the last 10 years. You know, there's bands that I remember seeing play coffee shops or play bars in front of 5 people and be like, they've got it. And fast forward 5 years and sure enough, they had it. And now they're, you know, I've been leapfrogged more times in my career than I care to admit, but that's a good thing because, you know, it taught me that, okay, you're good at seeing the talent before it's the rest of the world sees it. And so I'm really excited about, I'm not going to name anything because they'll probably get signed here in the next like 2
Exactly.
years and be gigantic. But I'm excited to kind of put that eye to the test and start putting my money where my mouth is and putting people's records out and trying to help launch some people.
Well, good, man. Everything that you've got going on seems awesome. Your energy is great. It seems like you're doing all the right things. So we appreciate sharing that with you and you sharing your music with us.
I'm in a good place. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's evident. And there's one more. You're going to do a third song from Lamentation. What's the last song today?
Yeah, I'm going to do a song, one of my favorite tracks off the record. It's a song called How Wicked I Was. I'm at the age, I'm in my late 30s now, and I've got a lot of friends who have been going through some pretty gnarly divorces in their late 30s when everybody starts finding themselves as people. Sometimes relationships don't last, and a lot of times there's kids involved. Kids gets used as leverage in a lot of those situations. And so one of my biggest fears is my child realizing that I'm not the superhero that she thinks I am. My daughter's 3. And so as of now, like, I'm the guy that can pick her up and throw her across the room, and like I can save her from anything. And so I'm like her guy. But one day she's going to come to the realization that I'm a human being. And then later in life, she's going to come to the realization that Dad was a human being that had a lot of missteps. It's been public. You know, I've had a lot of problems with substance abuse and such. And so she's not going to think I'm a superhero. And so I coupled that with what my friends are going through with divorces and your kid finally, not wanting your kid to find out about your past, not wanting your kid to realize that you're just normal, that you're just a guy that makes mistakes. And that's what this song came from, was kind of one of my biggest nightmares, fueled with what a lot of my friends, the nightmare my friends are actually living right now. So this is a song called How Wicked I Was.
She's got your brown eyes and my cartoon smile, a spirit best described as wild. She's my spitting image through and through. I couldn't lose her in a crowd if I wanted to. And I knew that this day would come when I had to pay for all the damage I've done. If she ever asks what happened to us, please, baby, please, don't tell her how wicked I was. Oh, when she gets going, it's a sight to see. She's where the best of you meets the best of me. I'll never break her heart, and that's the truth. I just wish I could say the same to you. And I knew that this day would come when I had to pay for all the damage I've done. If she ever asks what happened to us, please, baby, please, don't tell her how wicked I was. So when the shadows go bump in the night, I'll pull her close, I'll hold her tight. I just hope she never sees the only monster in this house is me. And I knew that this day would come when I had to pay for all the damage I've done. If she ever asks what happened to us, please, baby, please. Please, baby, please. Don't tell her how wicked I was.
Thanks. Thank y'all.
All right, man, this has been a total pleasure. Thank you for coming and doing
Thanks for
this,
having me.
sharing your words of wisdom and through your hard-won experience and the music, man. This has been amazing, and congratulations. 13 shows in 13 days just happened, and now you get probably no rest or hang
Get
time.
a little bit of time off with the
downtime.
family. I'm excited about it.
Good, man. We'll travel safely, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot.
All right, man.